Since one has a hot spot and then nothing gets working.
Yeah, now they're starting to join. 88492099.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, let's get some folks on. And
I've texted everybody, Coach. Seems like people are finally getting in here.
there we go. Perfect.
Hello, everybody.
Hey there, I got everybody texted. They're all getting in, Tim.
Okay.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Iverson, how you feeling, buddy?
Doing well. I'm past it, I think, for the most part.
Good. Good.
Yeah. Thank you.
While it's on my mind and we're on that topic, I don't know how many of you guys have worked with Jeff Head at Momentum or know Jeff, but just FYI, Jeff also came down with COVID last week. He's doing fine, but just wanted to kind of pass that
I
on.
won't be able to see you.
So we had a little miscue there on the passcode. So let's give everybody a few minutes to sign in. I think everybody got hit with a couple different emails with the new code.
Here we go.
You know, I don't know. Does Zoom always come up? Like when I click on this, it comes up, and if I'm not paying attention, I click on the big blue button, which is really intended for the meeting originator. Is that the same presentation that Zoom always gives, where you have to pay attention and make sure you join as a guest?
You know, I don't know, because I'm operating from the operator side.
Yeah.
But I mean, it can be confusing with the passcodes, and then I've used Microsoft Teams with another company that I coach, and it's, to be honest with you, it's not any better. The team, in my opinion, there's just as much friction, and it's actually harder to use the Teams version of what I'm finding with that company. So they all have their
Yeah.
I call them friction points, and I hate friction. I mean, it's just one of those things, man. It makes it hard on the consumer.
Yeah. Chime. We've been using Chime, and Chime has its issues as well. So I think they're all growing rapidly, and the demand is high. The one thing most people seem to gravitate towards Zoom, and in fact, Zoom just came into the telecom channel recently, meaning it's something we're going to be able to sell going forward. I just attended about a 2-hour Zoom session last week to try and learn a little bit about it and how we're going to sell it, etc. I think I forwarded that to the team, but anyway, Zoom seems to be one that people like the most. Chime is, I like Chime. We get it for free. Maybe that's why I like it, but it comes along with the Nextiva platform. So Coach, you would have it as well, but I think Zoom is a little bit more well developed and maybe more mature. But the one thing I don't like about the Zoom is if you're not paying attention, you click on that blue button that pops up. I don't know why they make that more prominent, because it's more common that you're a guest, not the originator.
That's right.
So that's kind of weird how they do that, but obviously that's out of your control. Jimmy, we got 23. What are we?
I've got 23 on my whole team with Christy and everybody. So it should be more like 29, but well, no, we took some people out. So
Should we give like 3 minutes? Start at 10:10.
Minutes. I'm communicating with Kristen right now, Lynn, and that 849-2099 isn't working for her. Okay, so let me just keep working with a couple of these people. I'm texting everybody that's not on the call and trying to work with them.
Okay. So, Coach, what's the environment like in Tennessee? Is there a stay-at-home order or anything like that? I'm just kind of curious.
It really depends. There is no stay-at-home order. As you guys know, I've been doing live events, pretty much the whole time at my lodge in Tennessee. Nashville has been, kind of reopened to some extent with some boundaries, but we have not experienced. We have a Republican governor, and depends on what city that you're in. My particular city is ran. The mayor is a businessman. He's a commercial builder. So my city has been open and running pretty much the whole time. We've had events. We've had live events. We do test people when they come in and people have to sign a waiver when they come to our events, but we've been doing events with 30 to 40 people to 50 people pretty much the last 6 months.
Have people, like, what would you say in terms of mask wearing? Has it been majority of them wearing masks or not masks?
People wear masks into the restaurants and then take them off at our events. Some people wear masks and some people don't. It's not mandatory. So it's really dependent on where we go. And so it's hard for me to understand, you guys that are in different parts of the country and what kind of stay-at-home orders you're facing or curfews, because I'm in Florida right now. Obviously, Florida has been a state that's been pretty much open. So a lot of people are flocking to Florida for a lot of reasons because it's so open and people are out walking and biking and, enjoying outdoors and eating it. What they've done is taken a lot of the restaurants and made outdoor areas so you can sit outside and eat.
Yep.
But it is very functional here. And so I go back and forth between Tennessee and Florida quite a bit because both of the states have been pretty wide open.
So there's no personal income tax like in Florida and in Tennessee, right? Is Tennessee one of the states that doesn't have?
Correct. That's correct. Yep.
Yeah, Michigan's a little bit, we have an interesting political situation going on here.
Yeah, we're actually seeing a lot of people in Florida where I have a house in Seaside, Florida, which is in the Panhandle. My real estate agent is telling me a lot of people are making their second home, their primary home. And there's a huge migration from the East Coast, New Jersey, New York City, other parts of the country that are moving here and making what would be their vacation home, their permanent homes.
Yeah.
So that's a big trend that we're seeing down in Florida right now.
Yeah, I think that's happening in a few states. I think Texas is seeing that. There, an exodus from California. There aren't a lot of people flocking to Michigan right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh. I may visit Michigan in the summer to get away from the Tennessee and Florida heat, but it's not a place that people in Tennessee say, man, I want to move to Michigan.
No, but we'd welcome you. Why don't you plan a trip when it's the summertime in Michigan's beautiful?
Yeah.
Mackinac Island, preferably.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely going to do that. It's just a matter of when I can do it. I mean, I say I'm going to do it every year, but I'm definitely going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, if you get around to planning something like that, you got to let us know ahead of time and we'll arrange something. It'd be great for everybody to see you in person and get a little jolt of energy from your high level.
Yep, I'd love that. Yep, I'd love that.
That's Black Lake behind me, 45 minutes from Mackinac Island.
Nice. Yeah. All right, looks like we got 25 people now. Are we good to go?
Jim, I'm going to let you call it. What do you think? You're muted.
Yes, call it. You can start.
Okay, let's go ahead and roll, Coach.
All right. Good morning. Happy Monday morning to everybody. There's still some folks coming on, so I'm sure we'll get to our number. As I was doing my notes for this morning, I want you to understand that we are working through a system. Okay. And it's like, you can't get to the multiplication part until you get to the correct addition part, right? It's like, if you don't do this part right, then this part doesn't work as well. You can't just pick parts of the system. And although you could get better at follow-up, but you really need the whole thing to really, really do it right. So if we're reviewing our system, we're looking at number one, the activation of Prey Drive, and that's every day. Okay. And that has to do with what you do every day to activate your Prey Drive to go pursue. Then we move to the explanation of service. And then we move into the selling system. Okay. And then we move from the selling system to the follow-up. From the follow-up to the extraction of referral, from the extraction of referral to the person of interest. And so what we're doing is we're kind of looking at our missing structure. So when you think about it, we've covered Prey Drive, explanation of service, how to attack the day. Okay. Today, we're going to get a little bit into the follow-up, because to me, when you think about what I do every day is simple to me. I call on new money. Every day I try to close deals in the pipeline. Every day I love on big customers or referral partners for extraction. Every day I'm planning some type of an event, and many of those events could be online or something to push people to in the future. And that is kind of a standard everyday cycle for me. Okay. And so I just want you to get that, to understand my mind is trained. We got a number, we got a target, we got 31 days in a month, and we're trying to hit that target every 31 days. And every day we are either moving toward that target or we are moving away from that target. We are either participating in high value activity or we're participating in low value activity. Right before this, I was coaching a call center out of Houston, Texas. And I used to go to Houston in person, and do the session. And I would go in there and they wanted me to do a hype session. I'd get everybody excited, activate the Prey Drive. And then there would be a group of them that would leave the meeting that I just hyped up, go outside, smoke a cigarette. I'd motivate them. I'd get them all excited. And then they go outside and take a 15-minute break and smoke a cigarette. And the owner, man, it just drove him absolutely crazy.
Hey, Coach, I'm gonna interrupt you real quick.
Yeah, please.
Because there's something driving me crazy right now.
Yep.
Everybody that's on this call, if you have a camera, turn it on. We need to learn how to use this technology. Agreed. So I thought we made that pretty clear last time. Less than half the people on this call have their camera on. So if you have a camera, let's use it. And if you don't, send me an email and I'll teach you how. Because we need to figure out how to use this. And it's shocking to me the number of people that don't have a camera on right now. This session is more valuable, and the dynamic from a psychological perspective is more meaningful when we can all see each other. Yeah. Let's get your cameras going. I mean, come on, man. Folks, come on.
Come on, man.
There's my Biden impression. All right. I don't want to go political, but come on, man. Get your cameras working.
Yeah.
And Coach, one other thing. Here's something that I'd like you to think about, because I think this is something that happens to us in our world. You said your day is pretty simple. You categorize it into those different things that you do every day. I think one of the things that we might struggle with in our world is when you sell something, a lot of times there's all this follow-up that comes along with it to get it moving, to get it going, all the details to make the order right, etc. Yep. And I know that I personally struggle sometimes after I make a sale. It then sort of knocks me off track on that revenue generating mode, because I'm now babysitting and trying to make sure that an order is moving right. And there's a lot of details involved. So at some point, maybe you can sort of factor that into your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm glad you're saying that, and that's a great point. Here's what I want you to do. I work with, as you know, different industries, and let me give an example. Right now, we work a lot in the mortgage industry, and they're having record months. They're overloaded with business. Mortgage rates are incredibly low, and what they could say to me is, "Man, I sell the loan, And then to Tim's point, I have to babysit the loan to make sure the loan gets across the finish line, right? There's a lot of paperwork back and forth with the consumer, getting it across the finish line. And then it would be very easy for them to say, look, I'm having record months, man. What do you want me to do? You still want me to prospect every day? Well, here's what I know. I have lived and coached through one major recession of '08. And it terrified me because I saw very wealthy people go broke. And I was coaching very wealthy people during that period, big home builders, people that had private jets and multiple $1 million homes. And man, I saw them go through depression. I had to go to their house and get them out of bed in the morning. They saw their net worth plummet. They were scared of going bankrupt. They had to lay people off. Like, it terrified me. And so it taught me a valuable lesson, that we never grow complacent in our prospecting, no matter how big our months are, because there will come a time when winter asks what you did all spring and summer. And what takes years to build up can take seconds to tear down. And for you, I live with a very healthy fear. Okay. I have a fear that I could lose everything. Okay. And that fear activates my prey drive every day. Okay. And I don't want to lose. I worked 28 years to have the things I have. I don't want to lose them. And I know that, man, it could all go away tomorrow. So I work as if I'm broke every day, no matter how much money I have in the bank. And I get up and I never have a confusion about the purpose of my business, which is to produce new money. Your business needs new money every day. And when you lull yourself into saying, man, I got to babysit these customers, man, I signed on 4 customers and I got to deliver it and I got to get the phone systems up and I got to get the technology right. That is true. You do have to do all that, but that is still no excuse for allowing yourself to lull into complacency and a laziness about prospecting, folks. The purpose of the business is to generate new customers. So I did, you guys, if you follow me, I did 1.3 million in the month of October. It's the biggest month I've ever had. And I'm telling you, I still wake up every day. It don't matter to me, man, if we did 10 million last month. I wake up as if I'm dead broke every single day. And that is a fear I have. That is, I think, a healthy fear. So I think it's very easy for you. And I watched the next Steve, a guy that I coach, in Tennessee, and I watch how he comes out and customer services me. And he would tell you, Coach, the number one thing I struggle with is prospecting every day, because I go out and see customers and I put the phone system in and I work on the technology. And I'm like, that's all good, man. But what, you're never going to grow your business like this, just servicing the customers you've sold. You have got to prospect every day for new money. And that has got to be a non-negotiable in your life. Like, I'm in Florida right now, at our house in Florida. Listen, if you came down here with me and you think you're on vacation with me, no, I'm not on vacation. I get up every morning and I prospect and I work. And then I take time off later. I may take Thanksgiving Day off, but I'm working. Just because I'm in a different place don't mean I ain't working every day. I will make my phone calls today. I will follow up like crazy. I come into the day with a complete plan and a schedule. My wife may go into town. My kids may go into town, but it's non-negotiable in my house. I'm not vacationing until I'm done working. Okay. And that's just a discipline that I've cultivated. And because to do anything big, man, you constantly need revenue. So I'm glad Tim said that. Don't use that as an excuse. I call that too busy being fabulous, folks. You're just too busy being fabulous. Servicing all them clients you got. Well, guess what? You need new clients if you want the business to grow. So 3 questions I have for you as we get into the follow-up today. Number 1, do you have a plan every day to activate and reactivate your prey drive? Mine has to do with the morning routine. Remember, I told you I feed my body, my mind, my heart, and my spirit by 8 a.m. All 4 parts of my nature. Okay. I meet with my team every day at 8:30. I was coaching this morning, so my team met on their own, but they had a schedule. They had videos to watch. They had plan to do. So number 1 is, do you activate your prey drive every day? Number 2, do you have an explanation of service in place yet? And do you understand the 4 steps of the sale? Initiate, disarm, locate a problem, offer a compelling solution. Okay, everybody see that? Okay. Then I share my explanation of service after I locate the problem. Okay, Jason, I understand. There's really 3 beliefs that I have. Because of those beliefs, here's what I recommend. Boom. Okay. Here's why I recommend it. Here's the people I've helped. Now, if we could do this for you like we've done it for other people, what would stop us from moving forward with each other? Okay. Now, what's interesting is there's a real estate agent in my coaching program, and I'm listing some commercial property, and she used these 4 steps of a sale back on me to try to ascertain my business, right? She initiated, she disarmed, she located my problem, she offered a compelling solution, and she shared with me her explanation of value. We believe every person deserves the right to have a professional represent them when they buy, sell, build, or finance real estate. She said, let me do a grid for you, coach, to show you what I think your value of your property is worth. Because of this value, here's what I would do to sell your property in the fastest time period possible. Here's how I would do it different than other commercial agents that are out there. Here are other people that we've done it for in testimonial videos. Now, coach, if we could do this for you, like we've done it for them, what would stop you from letting us list your property? I mean, she used my content right back on me perfectly. I thought the way she did it was incredible. And she pushed me to something. She pushed me to something, a meeting, a schedule, an appraisal, something. She keeps me in a forward position. If I give her a little bit of pushback, she just uses the steps of objection. I understand. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. Is there any other reason, right, that would keep you from moving forward with me? Like she just keeps, she's being coached and she's using the coaching to make money, right? And if she gets this listing, who knows what she made, 30, 40, 50,000 off the commissions. But she's using it. She's not just getting it and not using it. She's getting it and she's immediately using it, folks. And that's important. Okay. So do you have your explanation of service? And do you feel like you understand the 4 steps of the sale? Are you initiating? My guess is with most of the people on this call, you're not initiating enough conversations during the day. You're simply not talking to enough people to prospect enough to run the numbers correctly. Remember, if you talk to 30 people, only 4.8 people are going to be interested and open. And that just starts the cycle. Okay. Now, third question I would ask you is, based on your coaching, are you attacking every day with a minimum of 2 hours of prospecting with a hit list, a farm club, a top 25, and showcase events? Okay. So if I followed you around all day, would I see you have a time period where you prospect for 2 hours? And you say, well, who am I working during those 2 hours, coach? You're working your hit list. That's new money. You're working your farm club. Those are people who have indicated interest. And if you remember, I talked a lot about the red zone conversions. The red zone conversions are people who have indicated interest, man, they're right there, but for some reason, they're not taking action. There's a hesitancy. They're afraid of something. Okay. And just a note, because right now I'm building out my greatness factory of Nashville. It's 9,000 square foot. And I have these different technology people pitching me their services. What they have done a poor job of is they haven't showed me how their plan is in alignment with what I'm trying to do. Okay. So we had an IT specialist come out last week and he kind of explained IT, but he didn't really show me how is this going to help me make money or save money? How's it going to enhance my greatness factory? He did a very poor job of explaining his value. And you got to understand, there's another company here. Then there's electricians. Then there's AV specialists. Then there's this people. Then there's that people. We're getting pitched every day by all kinds of people, folks. You got to understand, if you can't do a good job of articulating your value and how your solution helps me generate more revenue, you're probably not going to make the cut. Okay. And to the point that, you know, I was just kind of lukewarm toward the whole meeting, to be honest with you. Now, so when you think about this, it's like, hey, I'm here. I have these IT services, which is boring. What you want to do is come in and show the business owner, we believe in speed. We believe in this. We believe in this. We believe this turns into monetization. Let me show you how we can do this, right? Like that's a hit list conversation. Now, if I go, I'm not real clear how you fit into this equation. Like we already have some of these things. I'm unclear. I want you to show me how you can bring this to life. I want you to show me how we can monetize or make money with this. It's not just, to owners thinks in terms of, are you an asset or a liability, folks? If you're out there selling your services, you should be selling a solution to a problem. You shouldn't be selling just your services. Okay. So the hit list is I'm calling on new people. I'm presenting ideas. I'm forming strategic partnerships. I'm opening new doors. I'm looking for new money. That's the hit list, folks. That's the hit list. The farm club are people who've indicated interest. The red zone are people who are like right there. It's like, man, they need a knockout punch. Okay. We need to get them across the finish line. They're hot. They're interested. And if I was pitching every one of your services, there would be X number of people who would be closest to making a buying decision. When I come into the day, I need that's my red zones right there. Okay. Then I've got my top 25. Those are my referral partners, my referral sources. Okay. And I know we're living in unusual times, but I'm trying to have a dinner for my top people in December. Nice dinner, nice wine room, maybe get 6 to 8 to 10 of my people in a room. You may not be able to do that where you live. Maybe you can have them over your house. I don't know how you do it, but I'm trying to spend time with my big advocates. I spent time with Sharon Lecter last week, who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. They sold 32 million copies. And just by spending a couple of days with her, she's like, why don't you come out to Scottsdale? Let's do a publishing retreat together. That was a direct result of spending time with one of my advocates, leading to new monetization of a new concept. Each one of you have big customers. You need to be loving on them. You need to be spending time with them. You need to be talking to them. You need to be thanking them. You need to be right. That's your top 25. And you need to be planning events, some type of event to push people to something. Okay. Now, when you think about this cycle of initiation, how many of you, we're talking about now how the daily attack comes into the $1 million follow-up. How many of you have people in your pipeline right now that have indicated interest in your product or service? Raise your hand. Okay. Now, let's play the percentages for a second. Okay. And the percentages tell me that it takes 7 to 15 touches 80% of the time to convert a prospect to a buyer. Now, let's just ask this question. Dan, why do you think it takes 7 to 15 touches? What do you think the reason is? That's a sales stat that says 80% of the time it takes 7 to 15 touches. Why do you think that is?
I would say because they're being hit with so many people that they don't know who you are.
That's right. So think of it this way. I may not even know who Dan is, or what's the likelihood of me using him for my needs at the Greatness Factory if I don't even know who he is? Okay. And here's a good example. I had an AV company come out last week, pitch me on LED televisions for my Greatness Factory. That's the direction I was going to go, until a guy on my team who handles some of my branding said, Coach, look at what some of the top churches are doing. The churches have these cool boards that go behind, LED boards that go behind them. This is so much cooler than those televisions. See, now the little guy who came out, who pitched me the televisions, has got a competitor, but he don't even know he's got a competitor. Now, let me ask you a question. If I indicated interest in spending $50,000 on televisions for my board, how often should that dude be calling me? Dan, how often should he be calling me? You can unmute yourself.
That's a good question, because I think there's I have a hard time knowing what's pestering versus follow-up.
Well, here's what I would tell you. If I brought him out to my Greatness Factory and I said I'm willing to spend between 10 and 50,000 on the televisions, on technology, then until he has something signed by me that says I'm doing it, in my opinion, he should be following up with me at least weekly, or at least a couple times a day. There's a clear time frame here. I told him I wanted to have this up by January 1st and start it. I told him I wanted to put it on this year's, basically spend the money this year for tax purposes. It's November 23rd. Like, I don't know what else I could do for the guy except move in with the dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I've given him every indicator I can. But here's what I find myself doing, Tim. I find myself following back up with him. I'm like, where are we? Where's the televisions? How much is it going to cost? Where's the proposal? Well, I have a saying. Every day, there's somebody else's bait moving a little bit closer to your fish. See, in the interim, he could lose this deal because he really hasn't even secured the deal yet. I've indicated interest. He's followed up with me in one email. He should be calling me, Coach, let me tell you where we are. We got to get these TVs from Japan. It's going to take us 2 weeks. Here's 3 options. You told me you wanted 3 options. Here's 3 options for you. Now I'm going to call you back 2 days from today. Let's go ahead and get a letter of intent on here so we can go ahead and start the work for you. We're going to need a down payment deposit. Like, to me, he's not pestering me. I've told him I want to do this, but now he's given me room for doubt. Everybody see that? And this is really why we have to follow up. Like I'm in a house right now in Florida, and I have my house on the market for $2.595 million. That's this house that I have right now. This is my beach house. And I'm trying to buy a $3.1 million house, but there's some complexity to it. I really want to sell this one to buy that one. I have the other one under contract. There's some financing I got to work out. I got to move money around from here to there. It could happen, Tim, that I could come down here and my wife go, you know what? We like this house enough. Why don't we just stay in this house? Right? So the real estate agent stands to gain or lose. Just think about this. 3% on 3.1 million, 3% on 2.59 million. I don't know what that is off the top of my head, but the real estate agent stands to lose a lot of money if he loses the deal. So how often should he be calling me, Dan?
I would say he should call you or contact you once a day in some fashion until he hears from you.
Okay. Now, is he pestering me or is he trying to get the deal across the finish line?
Well, if you told me that you want to move it forward and you don't give me a good answer why you don't want to sign on the dotted line right now, then I should call you every day.
That's right. But see, here's the deal. I have signed on the dotted line. I have the other house under contract. I have a listing agreement on this contract, but I could change my mind. Okay. And so here's what I see happen. People say they're interested and then they lose interest because their mind gets diverted to something else. Another deal comes along. This has to happen. There's what I call inside baseball. These things have to happen. And that's the same thing that happens in your business. Okay. So I am adamant about taking a lead and working it through to its full maturation. That means seeing it through till there's a contract and there's money. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going because you told me you were interested. And because you told me you were interested, I'm going to have a series of touches. So my series of touches are going to be, I'm going to get a meeting with you because I can't say unless I have your attention. I'm going to summarize the meeting. Then I'm going to come back with what I would call a nonlinear. Okay. And I would ask you, what assets do you have? So if Dan come out and pitch me, and you said, I want to be the greatness factory. I want to handle the phone systems and the technology for the greatness factory. I want to do this. And I go, okay, I'm interested, but there's a lot of decisions I'm making, Dan. I'm making decisions about televisions and budget and offices and furniture. And this is all cash out of pocket, by the way, for me. It's not I'm getting a loan for this. So I'm watching every dollar, Dan. You got to convince me, Dan, that some of that money needs to come to you and the technology you're proposing, or that just gets cut out of the budget. Right? Because there's other things. See, we think we're competing versus other technology companies, but you're not. You're competing for every dollar the business owner has and how they want to allot that money toward you. Okay. And if they get crunched, remember what I told you when I had a president last year, when we were going through COVID, I asked her, what would you cut? You know what she told me? I'd cut the Nextiva phone system. That's the very first thing she said. She said, Coach, we can get it for $200 cheaper than what we're paying. That's a budget cut I would make. Why did I not cut it? Because I had a relationship with the Nextiva person and I go, move to the next thing. What else would you cut? Okay, I'd cut out this. I'd cut out this. You got to remember that you're either nice to have or a must have, folks. And this is the reality of running a small business. Okay, this is a reality of running a small business. Now, new administration, the small business owner gets taxed 8% more. Now, corporate taxes are at 39% versus 31%. That's going to cut into the small business owner's profits. The small business owner is going to be watching their dollars even more. which is why if you're selling, what do you need to be doing? You need to be selling so many people that you hit your sales numbers no matter what, which goes back to what? We got to prospect every day, folks. We got to prospect every day. We got to prospect every day. We got to prospect every day. So when I'm going to my follow-up, I'm going to be like a pit bull on a bone, following up until I have this deal to its maturation. I'm going to use a series of what I would call linear, which are direct, and non-linear touches. Okay, now let's go back to what Tim said. If Tim just called me every day and said, are you ready to go? Are you ready to put the phone system? Are you ready to put the technology in? That would seem like pestering. If he brought value to me, said, Coach, I've stepped back and looked at the most economical way we can do this, which I think would be the greatest value. This is a strategy I've used with 3 other companies. Take a look at it. You and I can discuss it. That's valuable for me. If he come back and said, look, you're not using your current phone systems like they should be. You told me you wanted a call center. I'd like to come in and set the complete call center up. Coach, I've done the math. I think you could add $250,000 to your at least top line revenue. I've done the math for you on what it costs to run a call center. Coach, I think you could make another 100 to 200,000 a year in passive income with the call center. Coach, I've done the math. I've looked at your active campaign. It looks like you have 3,000 leads that are not getting touched 6 to 8 times. If we put the call center in, I think you can generate another $500,000 of business from what you have in your pipeline if I can get this up and running for you. Now, Tim is showing me how I can make money with the phone system. Does everybody see that? And that is how you need to be thinking, folks. So your follow-ups are not pestering me. Your follow-ups are, man, I'm doing the math. The faster we get the call center up, okay? Like I've told my next Steve rep, I want a call center, okay? What he should be doing every day is helping me get that puppy up and running so I can make some money with it. Okay, so because that's how the business owner thinks. So when he comes back to me and says, look, 3 seats, 3 people, I've studied 2 call centers, and here's how they do it. Here's the price tags. Here's how much they're paying their people. I'd like to help you get this thing up and running, Coach. I'm going to show you how the next Steve system can help. What I find a lot of people do is they leave it up to me. Coach, I know you want a call center. Hey, you call me when you want to put this thing together. And I think that's a huge mistake, because I got 47 other things to focus on besides that one thing. That is one thing of the 47 things I'm focused on as a business owner. Do I want a call center? Yes. Is it at the top of my food chain? Depends on what day it is. But if he keeps it at the top of my food chain, hey, Coach, I want to meet with your team. I want to get this thing up and rolling. Let's go ahead and get the phone system going. Let's get this part up and working. Boom, 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 boom. He's got to understand an object at rest stays at rest unless acted on by an outside force. How many of you feel overwhelmed every day when you go into the day with the number of things you could do? We all do, right? It's like, oh my gosh, there's all these things we could do. Here's what I want to do. Stay at the top of your mind. Stay in your face until we have a deal. Okay? Now, there's a bigger deal here, folks. Anything I do, I want to multiply. So if I have a call center, let's just say, I want to turn around and sell call centers to other people. Okay. Now, so it may not be, this is the difference between bluegill and blue marlin. So let's say my next Steve guy lands on me, gets my call center up and running. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn around and sell call centers to other people. And we're going to need more people. And other people are going to do it. And I'm not going to have one greatness factory. I may have 50 greatness factories. So you need to always think in terms of, let's get this dude up and running. Let me stay in his face. He's a high referral partner. He's moving and shaking. Let me be right there in his face every single week until we got a deal done, because there's going to be more deals. Okay. Everybody see that? Now I'll give my next Steve guy credit. He's getting an office in my new greatness factory because he's smart enough to know that I'm going to be bringing 400 or 500 business owners in there throughout the year, and he could have access to those people. So as soon as he saw the greatness factory, he's like, I'm in, Coach. Which office can I get? So I'll give the dude credit for having the prey drive to get in there with me and understand I can be a tremendous referral partner for him. Now let's go back to you, Dan. Is this the kind of relentless nature that you have right now of following a deal up to its conclusion?
I've always been very tenacious that way. Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm sometimes bothering people.
All right. Now that's a consideration though. So what if you are bothering them?
I mean, I back off and I text them, and I try to get an answer one way or the other. So I'll email them, text them, or call them.
Now, are you?
Until I hear from them.
Now, what assets do you have? This is a big problem I see for a lot of people, and is that I create a lot of assets to send people. Okay, and And what I mean by that, let's say Joe, how you doing? If I'm following up with Joe and I say, Joe, I want you to watch this video breakdown of me breaking this down for a group. What kind of assets do you send people to make them think about what it is you have? Dan, what kind of assets do you send?
Coach,
Oh, I think-
that's a good question. That's a place where we as a company are lacking. We don't have marketing material that's suitable for that type of activity.
Yeah.
And when we, I just made a note here that we need to schedule with you our first management session, because there's some things I have questions about. That's one of them. My thought about requiring everybody to have their video camera on is another one.
Yep.
I've got a few things I want to talk to you about, and I'm sure you know that the rest of our management team has some things as well. But we currently don't have a set of marketing materials that would fall into that category that you're asking, Dan. And
Yeah. Okay.
So sometimes I'll send them an email that says, you know, what their benefits are to moving forward, you know, just to try to get their attention. Is that what you're meaning?
Well, I think, all right, so I'm thinking about you, and I'm going to draw a parallel here. I work with a company that's an advertising agency, and they're trying to get people to advertise on airplanes, right? That's their business. And I said, what assets do you have that would convince me that me spending money on advertising on a plane would be valuable? Do you have videos? Do you have webinars? Do you have testimonials from other people? We have a whole page of what we call digital assets. And so if I'm working with Tim Mackin, trying to get him across the finish line, I may send him videos, testimonials. I may send him a full day of me breaking a concept down. I may say, watch this. That would be considered an asset. And what I'm doing is I'm letting that asset, I did a video this weekend on how to pick the right coach for you. Okay. And so as a 10-minute video, I'm out walking in my subdivision. I put it on YouTube, and it's these are the things that a good coach should do for you, because so many people struggle to figure out who's the right coach. Should I hire a coach? And I sent it to my sales team, and I said, use this with all of the people that are in your pipeline, because they clearly haven't made a decision with us yet for some reason. This may help them make a decision, because I'm kind of explaining what I think a business coach should do for you, which is activate your prey drive and help you find and fill your missing structures. Okay. Those are the two things I think a coach should do. I think the coach should bring a structure. How many of you have ever been coached by a person when all they did was ask you questions? Okay. If you've ever been in a coach, you're like, that's not coaching to me. Okay. Me asking Irv, what do you think you should do? Irv, what do you think you should do? Aaron, what do you think you should do? What do you think you should do? If you knew what to do, you wouldn't need the coach, folks. Okay. So I think a coach brings a structure to you, which makes me different than a lot of people that call themselves coaches. So I put that in that video, Dan, and I sent it to my whole team, and I said, use this with everybody in your pipeline right now. Who knows? Somebody may watch that 10-minute video and go, you know what? I need this dude to coach me. It may be the one asset. So that would be what I would call a non-linear touch. That means it's not a direct touch. Okay. Now, Tim can attest to this, because I did everything but move in with Tim when I was trying to close this deal with him. And I called him, texted him, emailed him. My team called him, texted him, emailed him, video messages, on like everything we could do. Everything I'm telling you to do, I do. Okay. I'm showing you how to do it. Okay. And to me, Tim wanted to do it the whole time. It's just got, how do we work it out? How do we get everybody on the bus? How do we do the sessions? Like, it wasn't that he didn't want to do it. It's just, man, it's during the middle of COVID and people trying to figure everything out, and business owner, right? Like he's a typical business owner, just like everybody else I sell to. So I would ask you, what assets do you have for your non-linears? That could be testimonials, could be videos, could be webinars, could be some type of marketing collateral. But I want that asset to make a person think. I want them to watch it and go, you know what, this dude, he's right. This person can help us. And I very seldom see people do this. Okay. Now, the real estate agent who's trying to represent my commercial lot, she did a grid, which I thought was incredibly valuable, Dan. She put together this grid where she looked at every property close to mine. She showed me the value, what they sold at, Then she came to a conclusion and she said, your lot, in my estimation, is worth $492,000. Here's the strategy we would use to sell it. Here's the 3 things we would do. Here's how fast I think I can sell it. Here's the people I would immediately call. Like, I was incredibly impressed with her follow-up. But I shouldn't be, because she's been coached by me, right? And so she's doing exactly what I'm telling you to do, is don't just make a presentation and then like see the technology dude that came out last week should be sending me back, here's a game plan. Here's what I would do. Here's monetization. Here's 3 testimonials. Here's people I've worked with. Here's a person I'd like you to talk to. Here's where I would get started, coach. Like, keep the ball moving. He didn't do any of that.
Coach.
Yes.
Coach, I think this might be something that's actually fairly easy for us, depending on what carrier we're presenting, because like a lot of our carriers are putting out really good content on LinkedIn, YouTube. Nextiva is a good example of that. If you go on Nextiva's YouTube channel, they have like 2-minute videos of how to use this or what this feature might be. So some of our carriers have content out there. We could send them a YouTube link, like, hey, check out, hey, Mr. Customer, I presented you Nextiva last week. Check out what their newest release involves.
That's a great point, Luke. In fact, I just made a note, after saying we don't have any content, I just made that same note, that our vendors have those assets, and so do our master agents. So, TBI's got things we can use, TCG does, AppSmart does. So we do have things like that have been produced professionally by the marketing departments of our vendors and our master agent partners. So we don't have any specifically developed, by UTEL, but we've got all kinds of things developed by our vendors, including Polycom, obviously, Nextiva, and so forth. But Coach, I
like all the time. Yeah, all the time they're inviting us to webinars. If a customer, we can invite them to a webinar if they haven't already seen a demo, and if they join it, great, and if they don't,
And that's a great way. Coach says be planning events. And Luke, that's a great way. I mean, that the event doesn't have to be something that we put together and produce and bring people, to a room. Inviting prospects to some of these webinars that are out there. Now you have to make sure it's a webinar that's not just sales oriented, that's more product oriented or technology oriented. But those things are out there. I mean, I can't tell you how many emails I get a day with different invitations to webinars about SD-WAN, about security, about 5G, on and on and on. You can leverage those to invite prospects to those types of events, and you get the same mileage out of it. But Coach, one thing I wanted to ask you is, how would you suggest these guys approach existing customers to get testimonials? Because I know that's always, I've always struggled with that. Like that's, I don't know if it's uncomfortable. I feel like I'm asking them to do a favor or what, but I think testimonials become part of an asset package for an individual rep. These are some customers I've worked with, and put something together and send, whether it's a letter of recommendation, a quick video. What would you recommend around that?
Well, I think you had to remove that consideration that if you've helped another person get to a better place in their life, there should be no consideration or hesitation to ask them to shoot a short video for you, a 1-minute testimonial for you. We capture these a lot at events, when people are there and they're excited, and then we have hundreds of testimonials that we can use. Then we package them up and put them on YouTube, and we give them to our sales team. And then that way we can use different industries. Hey, I work with an insurance person, and this is what insurance person said. Hey, I work with a technology company. Here's what the technology company said. So I think when you're doing it, I have no hesitation of asking, hey, Tim, man, if you think this is helping your team be more organized, work better, work smarter, work through a selling system, would you shoot me a short video? You can do it on your cell phone and text it to me. I won't let 30 seconds. Right. And you may say, sure, I'd love to, coach, but I'm really busy and I'm moving fast. What's the follow-up? My follow-up is, hey, Tim, man, I'm trying to secure some more business. I'm trying to get in Polycom, right? And I need some help with Aaron, and I need you to send me a video so I can send to Aaron, man. And I know you want to fight. You're fighting for me, Tim. Thank you for fighting for me. Like, to me, I have no hesitation to ask another person for something. And let me tell you why. I think I provide value for people, and that value helps people monetize and make more money. Therefore, I just had people at Publishing Summit last week, and I've gone back to those people already and said, who do you know that needs to write a book? Who do you know that needs to be at my Publishing Summit? Who do you know that this experience was good for you? Who else do I need to be helping? And would you shoot a short video and send it to them? I've already have referrals from that. So to me, you got to get over that consideration. We need the assets to help validate and sell what it is that you do, because that word of mouth referral is so valuable to the equation. Okay. All right. Let's finish with this, guys. So if you're not going 7 follow-ups, remember, you're not pestering if you're adding value. Now, you're pestering if you just call them over and over to see if they want to take action. Okay. If they're not moving, then that's an indicator that you haven't provided enough value. Send the strategy, send a tactic, send a video, right? Think about them. Right? Which is why I shot I really shot the video on Saturday, because we have a person out in Denver that wants to hire me, but she's just stuck. We can't get her to move. So I just shot a video on how to pick a coach. That may move her, that may not move her, but it was a different tactic. Okay. And I just said, look, it seems like you're struggling to make this decision. I hope this video helps you. This is a 10-minute video on me breaking down what a good coach will do for you. See if it helps. It may not help. Now, I'll close with this. In the follow-up, please hear me on this. There is no wasted movement. Okay, I just told you 2 years ago, I went to North Carolina. I made a pitch. I thought I had a big deal, and then the dude just went completely cold on me. I couldn't get their attention. They never responded. I followed up 7 to 15 touches. Nothing ever happened. And then out of nowhere, last night, I'm downstairs with my wife and kids, and I get a text message. Hey, I'm doing a conference in Vegas in May. Would love for you to speak at it. I hadn't heard from this dude in 2 years. Okay. He's going to put me in front of he said a lot of top insurance people will be there. Hold it on your schedule. We'll work out the details. Now, here's the interesting point. It just came out of like space, but it really didn't come out of space. It came out of my effort to follow up with the dude for a year. There is no wasted movement in the follow-up. If JT follows up with somebody for 2 years and they never do one thing with him, but then all of a sudden he gets a referral out of nowhere, and it's like, hey, so-and-so told me to call you, man, because of how professional you were in the follow-up. And then he lands a huge contract. It was because it was in direct proportion to his follow-up. So people remember, like I have a lot going on, but I remember who follows up with me and who don't. I remember who puts the work in and who don't. I remember who's in my face and who's not. I remember who goes the distance and who don't. Okay. And the girl who's running my publishing division right now was a media person that followed up with me for a year. And I never would take her phone calls. I was always busy. And one Sunday morning, she hit me with a text message on a Sunday morning. Nobody ever follows up with me on Sunday morning. She hit me with a text message on a Sunday morning. I'm like, man, I really like your effort. I'm about to be in the car. Can I call you? And I called her to handle my media. She's now leading my publishing division, and she stands to make, I don't know, $300,000 or $400,000 a year, all because of her follow-up. And so she's like, I'm like, so you were so rabid in your follow-up. I appreciate that and respect that, which is why you got this opportunity to lead my publishing division and make, $250,000 a year. She never would have made $250,000 a year without following up with me in her current role. So my point to you is, quit thinking follow-up is just to close business right now. Follow-up is to pursue opportunity, and we don't know what that opportunity is going to be. That's why we follow up. Okay. And I can tell you, people I've not followed up with, man, is a huge mistake on my part. Huge mistake. Every day we should be following up with people 7 to 15 touches, voice call, email, text message, video, assets. Okay. So I hope if you're not going 7 touches, today really encourages you to go the distance and start fighting for yourself harder than what you're currently fighting for yourself. You got to look at it this way. I wouldn't be here helping you guys today if I wouldn't have followed up with Tim like I followed up with him. And to me, that is my duty and my obligation and my responsibility to be here to help you. And I can't be lazy in that duty and obligation and responsibility. I can't help you until you commit to something, and you can't commit until I get your attention. And that's really the purpose of the follow-up. Okay. All right. Good session.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Coach, what do you want us to focus on
Yeah, for
between
next
now
call.
and next
Yeah.
session?
I want you to go to work on the 7-touch follow-up. And what I would like for you to have is a series of linear and nonlinear touches. And Tim, what I try to provide for my people are these digital assets. And I just put them on one page, so they can pull these assets at any time. So we've compiled the assets. And then for the salespeople, it's like, hey, anytime you need to use these assets to close a deal, go here to this Google Drive and pull the asset and use the assets that we've created.
So I'd like to see if somebody can come next Tuesday with a story about how they followed up with somebody that they hadn't been following up with, and it turned and it converted.
That's right.
I know
And
I've got a couple.
there's going to be somebody you're going to convert just because of today's session, folks. That's going to turn into money. Aaron, would you like to close us out? Would you like to say anything today?
Yeah, I had a little struggle getting on the call this morning, but thank you for doing this. I've been working on my explanation of services too.
There we go.
Yeah. So I believe that every business professional can work from anywhere, and the hybrid working is the next new normal. The office is not going to go back to business as usual, and noisy work environments will destroy your productivity. And the poly products that we sell solve that. Takes you 23 minutes to get back on track when you get distracted, and there's no way you can not get distracted by noise unless you've got the technology to solve it.
Wow. That's good, man. That's a good one. That's
That was
really
a
good.
pitch. Yep.
Hey, you come out of there swinging, man. I like that.
Yeah, you did.
But see, I will say this, that is a very good belief statement explanation that is a very good by using the technology, and he attacks a problem, and the problem is distraction. And if you wanted to add anything to that, Aaron, add the definition of distraction. The word distract means to pull apart. Okay. And we are in a world where we are pulled apart every day. That is a distraction. And I love the 23 minutes to get back. I think I think it's true. And how much time is lost? You add that up, 23 minutes, you get distracted X number of times per day. How many minutes are you losing per week, per month, per year?
Yeah. If you ever do get back on track.
And most people don't. Man, that's a good EOS. Thank you for that.
Hey,
You're welcome for
Coach,
this great training.
Yeah, I like that one as well. And Coach, before you go, can you shoot me some times and days you're available to talk so we can have a follow-up, please?
Yep. I got Lakin already text Lakin. She's working on that for you.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thanks.
God bless you.
Appreciate it.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.